Yeah, can you hear me, Scott?
Hello.
Yeah,
I hear you fine.
excellent. This time, I think
Oh, there you go. You'll get a picture in a second. Hold on.
yeah, I think this time the quality of,
There.
yeah, this time the quality is much clearer, much better.
Okay, good.
Great. So I guess we'll probably have to restart it because I just lost completely everything what we were saying.
That's
Uh,
fine.
just do you mind putting the cam a little bit back so that I can see your full face? Yeah, that's better.
Okay, better?
That's excellent. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so going back to the same question, I'll start from where we left. That of course we enjoyed, all of us enjoyed Orlando, not only because it was an amazing experience with Richard and the team, but also because we were all able to meet great people around, all around from all around the world. And I believe, for me personally, I have made excellent friends. I am really, enjoying my trips and times with them. I'm going to Europe now, and I'll be meeting a few of them there. So from that was my personal thing. And what was your experience?
Well, first of all, meeting new great people from other countries and other cultures just makes the experience that much better. Great people with great energy in a seminar that's as productive as the one we were in, it makes it life-changing, and it's something that it truly is a life-changing experience.
Agreed, 100% agreed. And we also discussed that as a hypnotist, what is your, I would say, icing on the cake? I mean, for you as an hypnotist, because you have, I believe you were rated as the best hypnotist in the US last year as well. So
Yes, thank you. Uh-huh.
yeah, so
Um,
yeah.
some of the things we learned, you know, and I think Richard's also say this is powerful and a little bit more productive. So using some of the things we learned, like nested loops,
Mhm.
and using things like metaphors and ambiguous language in the hypnotic state is extremely powerful.
Yeah, you believe so?
Oh, no, I believe so. No, I know so. I mean, I have that experience with my clients all the time, and it just seems like everything is amplified 100-fold in the hypnotic state when especially when you're helping somebody make change,
Yeah, that's
or
true.
or you're trying to convey a message. It's just so much more powerful.
Scott, I was talking to a guy who was really, when I told him I am an hypnotist, I'm a hypnotist as well, and he was like, "You will take all my money and run away." So I'm sure you would have
Mhm.
heard these things a lot. So I told him, I said, "Listen,
Yes.
I said, my dear, every definition of hypnosis to me is only single thing, which is every word, situation, or anything that you have accepted without questioning is called hypnosis. So you are in a state of hypnosis even when you are listening to your media, you are listening to your peers, you are listening to your family. Everybody is hypnotizing you. So nobody is taking money out of your pocket and running away, but you are being hypnotized because you are not replying on what you are yourself. Sorry, you were saying something.
Mhm. Well, it's funny is when you're watching TV, TV is hypnotizing you, and
Exactly.
they are trying to take money out of your pocket. I tell people that hypnosis is it's a monofocused state of mind where you're just focusing all your attention on one thing, and then the rest of the world just kind of fades away. And that's really all it is. It's a vividly and get through all the other BS that's been clouding your life and getting in the way of it.
Uh, that's absolutely right, because I mean, in fact, I just this afternoon, sorry, I was having a photo shoot in my office, and there was some in my back. There was some, like scribbling on the wall. Because what I do is, if you come to my office, you will see I have wall charts all around. Any thought that comes to my mind, immediately scribbled. And not only me, all my staff is supposed to do the same thing. That whatever thought they comes to the mind, they scribble it. So the photographer was saying, sir, it looks very bad in the background. You have so much scribbling, so much pictures and stuff going on, handwritten notes. So I told him, my dear, focus your camera now and face them out, hide them with the power of your focus. And he was like, Yeah, I can do it. So it was what you just said, that hypnosis means focus and let the other world phase out, phase away from you. That's absolutely
Hmm.
right. Uh, Scott, talking about hypnosis, how do you benefit? How does a sportsman, especially the one who is having a bad patch, or who chokes at on the D day, how would you help that particular guy?
Well, there's a couple things. Um, a lot of times with athletes, whether they're kids or professional athletes, they have plenty of great experiences. They've had great performances they've had in their life.
Hmm.
So what I'll do is I'll have them, talking about metaphors, I have them go into their mind and they find this warehouse. And in this warehouse, they find it stored all the great performances they had since the day they started playing their sport until today. And I have them find one. We take it out and we re-examine it. We put it on the screen. I have them see it again and feel it again,
Hmm.
even smell and taste it. And then I have them step into the experience and relive it. We anchor it. Like I work with, you don't pay too much where you are. Like I work with a lot of hockey players. And one of the ways I'll anchor it is I have them experience touch the ice for a game. So the moment they step out on the ice, anchor for them to re-access that great performance, and they begin to experience that performance again, and they can use that performance.
So
Simple.
that's actually an interesting thing, because when I do with the cricket players, I have been doing a lot with some cricket players, uh, especially when they are batsmen, because the bowlers do not face that much of a bad patch compared to a batsman in cricket. I know you are not very much versant with cricket, but it's like
Right.
a refined form of baseball, we call it. We accept
Yeah.
cricket is a more
Yes,
refined form.
it's probably the original form of baseball.
Yeah, probably. So what I do is I tell them use they wear the gloves when they're batting. So I tell them to tap on the three taps on their base of this glove, which is the base of their hand also, or either this hand or with this hand, whichever hand they want, right or left, it doesn't matter. But that's what I normally do them, and what I also do is that when they're bringing those images out, I not only make it more colorful, more brighter, I want to make them bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So the bigger it's like an
Hmm.
IMAX 3D screen. So yeah, definitely. I mean, that's exactly where people. Okay, I have a question, Scott, which is related to the same thing. I have met people, worked with people who tend to say, yes, at that moment we were there when you were telling us, but then we lost it. We are no more able to bring that state back. So what do we do?
You said they experienced it, but then they lost it.
That's right.
So I might just take them back down their timeline and have them re-experience it again, and then slow down time.
Mm, okay.
Right? We can manipulate time. Time is, you know, from our experiences, our own perception. So if they're experiencing it for a very short time and then losing it, take them back to when they experienced it, and then have them slow down time and stretch it out. That's what I would do.
Yeah, but that's if they are with you. But what if you give them that anchor and they go in the ground, for example, the ice, and it doesn't give them that feeling back again. What should they do
Hmm.
at that time?
Um, I'd be using some good questions to ask them what happened when they were experiencing it, what happened, what caused them to stop experiencing it. Um, you need to become a detective
Hmm.
and find out what's in their mind that's preventing them from reliving that experience. Um, and then maybe eliminating it or bypassing it or doing whatever you have to do to change it.
Excellent. So again, this was the point I was coming to. It's not the experience that is gone; it's the mind, because they are probably doing too much of conscious thinking.
Sure.
So that is probably where they need to change that frame of mind, where they have to come out of this what you call cyclone of conscious thinking and let it go.
Yes.
Right?
In
Okay.
fact, what I might do is the biggest issue that most golfers have is they think too much about their swing, and their conscious mind gets in the way of them hitting the ball really well.
Yes.
So the really good golfers, typically there's a 90-second period of time between the time they pick up their club and they actually hit the ball. So for that 90 seconds, we just let their conscious mind go.
Hmm. That's a good one.
It goes someplace else. It's not thinking about golf, it's thinking about something else. And that might be the same thing you might want to try with somebody whose conscious mind's preventing them to fully experience a peak performance.
Yeah, so it's always a conflict between the conscious and the unconscious mind, which stronger people, I would say. I mean, I met once a client, and he was like, "Oh, you cannot hypnotize me. I'm a very strong-minded person," and I was smiling, and he said, "Why are you smiling? I told you you cannot hypnotize me," and I said, "The stronger you are, the easier it is to hypnotize you now." Because you need that willpower to actually go into your own mind rather than somebody wandering here. um, Coming to another topic, Scott, I know your story. We've heard it, and I've read it as well. Of course, my audience, the people who I am going to who will be seeing these videos, they have no idea who Scott Schmaren is. uh, I would like you to just briefly, I know you would have told it so many times, so it might sound a bit boring for you, but if for the benefit of the audience, if you can uh, probably shed a couple of minutes on your story, because that is something which did change me.
Oh, I appreciate it. That's very kind of you. Well, by looking at me, you would never know that I used to weigh 360 pounds,
360
which is
pounds.
about, it's a lot of weight, right? I don't know what that is in kilos. That's a
I'll
lot of kilos.
I'll do it right now. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes. So, I grew up as a fat kid, and I was teased and I was bullied, and I spent periods of time in my life losing weight and then gaining weight and losing weight. And I finally realized there was two voices in my head: the voice that wanted to change and the voice that said, no, 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 you're going to stay where you are. And that internal battle was what drove me to start learning how my mind works. And I started studying things like hypnosis, started studying things like NLP, and you name it, I've probably studied it and I've worked on it. And what I learned is that if I change the pictures in my head, I can change my life.
Mhm.
And so I started changing those pictures. And as I started changing those pictures, my value and beliefs changed. My thoughts changed. What I become aware of changed. And then my actions changed. And as my actions changed, my outcomes changed.
Mhm.
So where am I now? I'm going to be 55 years old next week. I don't look
Oh,
like I'm 55.
happy
I've
birthday.
lost more than half my body weight. I weigh about 170. Actually, I weighed 171 this morning at the gym, which is about what, 82 kilos.
Yeah, 82 kilos.
Um, yeah, that's about right. And I feel good. I am in the best physical shape I've ever been in. I can do the same things a 25-year-old can do. And then what happened is the little voice in my head saying, hey, wait a minute, Scott, this is what you're supposed to be doing. So I had a real estate career, and I got rid of my real estate career, and I've committed my life to helping people every day really discover how amazing they are. Because my belief is you have inside of you everything you already need to create and live the life of your dreams. You just have to discover it, or you maybe even be using it in another area of your life and just making that connection in your mind. And that's the place I come from.
Excellent. By the way, 360 pounds is 163 kilos. So,
It's a lot of kilos.
exactly. So you are up almost less than half, almost
Yep.
half now.
No, I'm less than half than what I used to be.
Yeah, exactly. So how long did it take you to be from 360 to that 171? How long did it take you?
Well, here's the three questions everybody asks me. How long did it take you? What did you do? And how do you know you're not going to go back? And here's how I answer that. I'm not sure exactly how long it took, because what happened is once I installed this very clear image in my mind that I had a strong, healthy, lean, attractive, youthful body weighing 175 pounds or less, my process has changed. So how I thought about eating and how I thought about exercising changed. So it was like a slow metamorphosis, probably a little over a year. I think it was 14 months.
Mhm.
And I just got there. I didn't think about it. Like I don't think about food anymore. I don't worry about what I eat. I don't it's not part of me anymore. Like food has no power over me. And the other thing people ask me goes, well, how do you know you're going to stay that way? In the past, I had lost a lot of weight, but the internal image was still of me being heavy. So I would look at myself in the mirror and say, oh, that's not really you. Or I'd like say, okay, when am I going to wake up? This is a dream. And I don't feel that way now anymore. I like the way I look. I used to feel really uncomfortable when I would lose weight because it was like I was losing my protection because I needed my weight to protect myself, and I don't need that anymore. So I'm very comfortable with where I am. I like the way I am, and I don't have a need to go back to where I was before.
That's absolutely right, Scott. I had a client 3 days ago, and she was like, we were doing a Skype session as well, and she was crying and crying and crying. He doesn't love me. He left me. I mean, literally, these were her. For about 15
Mhm.
minutes, the story was all about he doesn't love me, my brother doesn't love me, my father doesn't love me, my sister doesn't love me. And then I asked her a question. After 15 minutes of listening, I was literally fed up. I mean, let's be honest. Sometimes we do get fed up because
Sure.
what she said to me after 15 minutes, I asked her. First question was, "How can I help you? What do you want from me?" "I just want you to listen to me." I said, "Excuse me. I am not a therapist. I am not a psychologist. I am not a psychiatrist. I am not your friend. I am not your boyfriend. I don't have those that big ears to listen to you. So tell me what you want from me. Do you want to get this thing cured and you want to get out of this frame of mind, or you just want somebody to listen?" And she was like, "Can I?" I said, "Okay. Do you love yourself?" I asked her only one question. I said, "Do you love yourself?" And she said, "I don't know. Probably, maybe not." So I said,
Hmm.
"All your problems are in this answer. The day you find this answer, call me back." I closed the Skype session.
Oh, good for you.
Because she had all the disrespect for herself. She was not properly, dressed. She was looking ugly. Because this is what I'm sure you will agree with that. That this is what people need to do. They first need to start loving themselves. That's where the whole
Right.
change starts. Once you
Hmm.
start loving yourself, you get self-esteem, you get whatever image you want to. I think you remember the example of Roberta, who was the Iron Lady.
Hmm.
How did she fight cancer? Just by loving herself,
Right.
right? So, yeah, please. So you're
You
saying,
can't you can't love anybody else until you love yourself. If you don't know what it's like to love yourself, you can't know what it's like to truly love somebody else.
absolutely, absolutely. That's the right approach. Um,
Mhm.
Scott, how did it feel when the reason I'm saying this question is because some people believe that if somebody is being bullied or if somebody is being tortured mentally or physically, whichever way it is, as a kid growing up, it is number one very hard for him to become positive again, and number two, these tortures are the reasons for that kid then never to never grow up or move forward, and they are his nightmares. Where do you stand in these three situations?
Well, being teased and bullied as a kid, having that experience, one, if you don't recognize that it's the cause of your issues when you become an adult, you can't change it. You have
Absolutely.
to become awake and aware of it to change it. As a kid, you don't have a lot of mechanisms inside of you to protect yourself except for one, which is to internalize it and really, I don't want to say forget about it, but kind of erase it from your mind. But it doesn't really go away. What happens is it manifests in other ways. Like I withdrew from the world. I spent my life watching TV and eating
Mm,
because
mm,
it was safe. And
yeah.
then you got a certain amount of safety and maybe even felt a little bit of love and protection in that environment cocoon of being hypnotized by the TV, so to speak, and eating. And eating was filling that emptiness inside of me. So there was a lot. There, it was a very, very strong feeling, and it's why a lot of people have a hard time giving it up because they're really not aware of it, and they have to risk stepping out of that comfort zone of even though they're overweight, maybe even very overweight and obese, and having life-threatening possibilities for diseases, but they feel safe in that place. And you have to ask them to step out of that box and take a risk. And sometimes they're not willing to do that.
But what role does family play in that?
Well, I think family, listen, the environment you grow up in plays everything. And when we look, it doesn't matter what culture you're in. If you look from family from generation to generation, most of them do the same things. Why?
Mm,
It's not genetic, it's environmental.
that's correct.
We make change two ways, right? We
Mm-hmm.
use the hypnotic state to
Mm-hmm.
make change very rapidly, but
Mm-hmm.
most change is done from repetition over and over and
Over and
over
over
again.
again.
And at some point, you just believe it to be true. And that's what happens in the environment we grow up in. So we hear things, we're not good enough, we're stupid, we're dumb, you'll never amount to anything, blah, 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 blah. And eventually, at some point, your mind, your subconscious mind says, I guess it must be true. And how do you act? You act that way.
Mm. At what age did you realize this thing? And what was
You
that key
know,
moment?
I've been studying hypnosis for in all these different modalities for over 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't really start working on myself until 14 years ago.
Oh, really?
So, like many people, we learn these things and we really should be learning them to help ourselves, but we don't want to pay any attention to ourselves. We want to work on everybody else because they need fixing and not us. And so, at some point, if you make that revelation and start to work on yourself, then you can start to change. So, it took me a while before I was actually willing to believe that I needed some help and I believed that I needed to change.
That's very very interesting, Scott, because we are always in a state of denial when it comes to us.
Sometimes
So
we are, yes.
yeah, we don't accept, as you said, very rightly said, that oh, I need these tools to help them, but not me. That is something which is very very normal. So 14 years ago, so it means like you were almost 41, if I'm not wrong.
I was about 40 years old.
40 years old. Till that time, you were still 360 pounds and above, right?
I was about 360. Yeah, I was at my peak then. Yeah. So it took me 40 years to get ready to change.
Wow.
I guess that's the way I look at it, right?
Is it late?
Hmm?
Was it late? Do you think it was
Was
late?
it late?
Yeah.
No, it was exactly the right time. I needed those 40 years to get ready to be where I am now. It was
And
40 years of education and preparation, right?
excellent.
And experience.
And how did your kids and your family, like, what they like, what is going on? What is happening with him? Or they were all really go
Um,
for it?
it's affected my kids in a positive way. I was married at the time. It affected my marriage though, because when I got married, my ex-wife and I were both very overweight. We were very codependent and we were both very enabling. And when I finally went on this journey for the last time, she didn't come with for the journey and she ended up being over here. I ended up being over there. And unfortunately, it did end our marriage.
Oh, but yeah, but I think that's where you need to put. I don't know who I was reading the other day, and he said, which I liked the thing. You want success, you want growth, you want money. You decide what you want. However, on the other side, decide what you are ready to let go, because you
Hmm.
can't get everything without letting something go.
I agree with that. And, obviously that wasn't my expectation when I changed, but, life happens.
Yeah,
And, if I didn't do that, then I probably would end up being heavy again.
yeah, no,
That would be
absolutely.
the only way to keep the relationship stable the way it was.
Yeah, and probably that was the first time you actually realized that you love yourself as well, because
You're
uh,
absolutely right. Yes.
that is very, very critical. Uh, and I, you know, since I have been into this, it's like almost 4 years now. I've been into this NLPs and Silva Ultramind. You are also a Silva
Yes.
practitioner. I'm also Silva Ultramind instructor. Plus going to these body languages and stuff. Sorry, you're gonna say something?
No, I'm looking. You don't see here. I'm looking at my wall and I have my Silva certificate from 1995.
Oh
That's when
wow,
I did it.
you are an old practitioner then.
I'm an old practitioner.
You're a dinosaur in Silva.
That's right. I'm a dinosaur.
But did you actually do it with Mr. Silva himself? That's a very interesting
No,
thing.
I did not. It was done through a great lady out here. He's not alive anymore. He was alive then, but no, I've never met him.
Yeah, because Edburn Jr. and Silva used to do till 95 they were doing the Silva method, and 96 they switched to Silva Ultramind, and 99 of course Silva died himself. But there was, I think where did you do it in LA?
No, I did it in the Chicago area. There was a practitioner here that had been doing it for years. He was based out of Laredo, Texas.
What was his name? Do you remember? I might know him.
With the lady I did it with, her name was Ardeen Calloway. She's
Uh,
still around somewhere.
No, okay, no, she's a different because there's another one which was working with Ed Burn Jr. So I thought maybe the same lady. But yeah, but Silva was the first thing which started opening my knots in the
Hmm.
mind. I remember I went to when I was in the university. I I went to as hypnotist. Basically, he was psychologist, I come hypnotist, and he was the best in the town. And I went there and I challenged him. I said, "Listen, man, you or any of your hypnotists cannot touch me because I am always in control." Wise as he was, he told me, "Yes, you're absolutely right. No hypnotist can touch you. We only work on weak minds. So, strong minds, we cannot do anything. But I would still like you to lie down and listen to my voice and my
Hmm.
commands." And I was lying down and I was listening, and he went through a journey on the road where I had a road rage. So he brought that road rage, and everything was, and I was like laughing in my mind. And when he woke me up, I was like, "See, I knew everything what was happening. You know nothing." And he didn't say anything. He said, "You are a champ. You are really strong. Best of luck, my son. Get well soon if you have any issues. If you came just to challenge me, I wish you the best of luck." And I left. This was back in 1992. In 2012, after 20 years, I realized how wise he was.
Yes. Uh-huh.
He installed his program in me, and I am still thinking he couldn't do anything.
That's right.
So, this is exactly what happens with us every single day. You know, People are installing their programs and we are letting them do it.
Hmm.
How can, how do you think in your mind or in your thoughts, how can we change the world in thinking pattern in general? We cannot change the world. I'm saying thinking pattern.
Um, that's a big question. If we're going to change the world and so people can think better, we've got to teach them, we live in a world, whether it's your country or my country or some other country, that almost everything we do consciously, but we don't. We do it at a subconscious level.
Exactly.
And using tools like NLP or hypnosis are really like owner's manuals for your mind to teach you how to use the vaster part of your mind, your subconscious mind. And we need to be teaching our children how to visualize and focus in school at a very young age.
That's correct.
Because if we can teach them that and how to meditate and do all kinds of things at a very young age, they're going to grow up to have really incredibly powerful, wonderful lives. And if these kids are growing up having powerful, wonderful lives, then our society becomes powerful and wonderful, and then the world becomes much more powerful and wonderful. But we got to teach our kids at a young age.
So that's where we need to start today, as of today, right? The kids.
The kids are the key to everything, aren't they?
That's right. That's absolutely right. I think the other key where, as Napoleon once said, "Give me good mothers and I'll give you good nations."
Mm.
So probably that is another key where because the learning, let's accept it. The first learning ground of any child is the mother's womb. Not even,
Right?
I'm sure you would have had cases when you would do age regression. Children, people would remember things when they were inside their mother's womb, right?
Sure.
So I have done a couple of cases like that as well. If from there onwards, if mothers are given that training, so I believe very strongly, kids, yes, but moms as well, need to be trained for all these things. And
Well, I
there's
think we all need to be trained. But if we
absolutely.
start with our kids, then we create a whole life cycle that perpetuates on and on. Yeah, we all need it. We all need to be trained, and we all need to learn, and we all need to grow.
Yesterday, 2 days, 3 days ago, sorry, my neighbor, next door neighbor, I was telling, I sent him my certificate, like I WhatsApp everybody that, okay, I'm an NLP trainer now, because he runs a Turkish sweet business. So he
Mhm.
wanted me to do training for his staff. Excuse me. So I sent him the certificate, and then he said, "Oh, I did not know you are an NLP trainer." I said, "Yes, I am." Is this NLP stands for neuro linguistic programming? I said, "Yes, it does." Sorry, my dear brother, I don't want to talk to you then. I said, "Excuse me, what happened?" And he was like, "NLP is an evil in this world." In Turkey, yeah, this is exactly, I have those full chain of WhatsApp messages with him. And in my family, in my wife's family, three couples divorced after doing NLP trainings in Turkey. I said, wow, that's a news, right? Three divorces just because of NLP. So I said, what did they learn? First of all, do you know that what did they really learn, and what was the reason of divorce? Was NLP the reason of divorce, or something else was already being cooked up, or just overnight NLP, they learned NLP and they divorced? No, no, no. My father wrote. My father is a writer, and he wrote a book on it as well. He's writing a book, and he wrote articles in the newspapers proving that all NLP practitioners are evil. NLP is evil. We should stay away from it. And the guy was not ready to listen. So I asked him. I said, "Do you have TV at home?" He said, "Of course I have TV." I said, "Can you run a porno on TV?" "Yes, but not at my home. I have kids." I said, "But can you also run a religious program on TV?" "Yes, I will definitely do that." So I said, "Is TV evil?" "No, but what is TV to do with NLP?" I said, "NLP or any other knowledge. You are an educated person. You are a doctor. Is medicine, education of medicine evil? Doctors kill with their ignorance, and doctors save lives. So same thing is NLP. Same thing is any information, any knowledge that you have. It can be used for good and bad both purposes." But the guy still doesn't seem to be convinced. So sometimes some people do have those mind blocks, if you want to say,
Oh,
call it.
we have that. In our country, some very, very fundamentalist religious organizations think that hypnosis is the devil's work.
Till today.
Yes, and you'll go like I'll do a program somewhere, and you'll be one person in the audience, and they won't look at you because they were told that if they look me in the eyes, that the devil will go into them. So they won't look at you. They'll always look like this, or they'll be like this, but they're afraid to look at you.
Oh,
So
really? Till today?
yes,
We're talking about 21st century.
yes, that still happens. Yes, it does. And what's interesting is the reason they're told that hypnosis is evil, that's because their preachers are using hypnosis to control them.
Yeah,
And they
exactly.
don't, so,
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
no, it still happens. Not often, but it does happen, yes.
So how do you deal with such a situation? That's a very interesting
Well, you
one.
can have some fun with that too. You can say, that's not 100% true. I said, it's okay to look at me in the eye as long as you keep your fingers crossed. So if you keep your fingers crossed, you can do everything I do, and that it prevents the devil from coming inside of you, and you can do everything that we're doing in this class, and it protects you.
Wow. That's hilarious.
So it is. It's silly, but
Yeah, it's a
you
belief.
know,
It's a belief. That's exactly what we were talking about in the beginning when you started. It's all about your beliefs and values.
yes,
You know, it's not.
absolutely.
So you believe in a certain situation, you believe in a certain manner,
hmm
and I mean, look at these guys who are doing all this nonsense around the world. Killing people and killing stuff. It's a belief that has been installed in them, which tells them this is going to take you to heaven.
Yes,
You know, people who are saving lives, it's a belief that if they save a
yes,
life, they will go to heaven. So beliefs are very, very strong.
they are everything.
And
Think about it. The beliefs are what drive us. Good, bad, indifferent, whatever our perception of our beliefs are is what drives us to do whatever we're going to do.
that's true. And the same beliefs limit us as well, right?
Yes, they do.
That's what we call the
Uh-huh.
limiting beliefs. And
Absolutely.
it's you know, Scott, since I have been into this mind world, every single day I am getting a new, opening. And
I would get that, yes.
I don't know if you got a chance to read that book I discussed with you earlier, Outwitting the Devil. Did you by any
Oh, Napoleon Hill's book.
Napoleon Hills? Did you read it?
Yeah, Napoleon Hill's he was a great man.
Yeah,
And it's funny, he talked about all this stuff over 100 years ago.
exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
one of the things in Napoleon Hill's book, in his complete work, The Law of Success, he goes, focus your conscious attention on what you really want, or as he called it, your chief aim or your definite
That's
major
correct.
purpose. He goes, then turn it over to your subconscious mind,
Absolutely.
and then give it to the infinite intelligence of the universe.
Exactly. Exactly.
Isn't that what we do now? So,
Exactly.
you
Uh,
know, so what all the stuff that we're doing is really not new. It's been around for thousands of years.
yeah. And one thing which in that book, which is also mentioned in Think and Grow Rich, which is, he says, is the key. If you just take that key, you can do anything in the world, which is called
Yes,
definitiveness of purpose.
yes.
Only three word
Chief aim,
letters.
definiteness of purpose, or I call it when I work with my people their vision, which is
Vision.
their overall theme of their life, not their goals, because then their goals fit into what their vision is or their chief aim.
That's right. So I salute this man because his book, this Outwitting the Devil. I mean, Think and Grow Rich. Yes, it's a good book. I mean, there's no question about it. But the interview of Devil in this Outwitting the Devil was totally a different level of what do you call,
Sure.
mind opening for me at least. You know,
Hmm.
uh, having said all these things, I wanted to also ask you, Scott, have you written a book, or you are writing a book, or you are teaching hypnosis, or you're doing anything like that?
Yes, yes, yes. I'm slowly but surely working on a book. What I found over the years of working with people, I have a specific formula that seems to work very well,
Mm-hmm,
and it's revolved around 4 R's. I call it the Quatric Formula for Success.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I'm getting ready to produce that into a product that people anywhere in the world will be able to buy
mm-hmm,
and use in their home, feeling comfortable. It'll allow them to have the experience they would have if they were working with me directly. And I'm going to teach it in the corporate world. I do a lot of corporate speaking. Like I'm here next week. I'm flying on Tuesday to Los Angeles, California, and I'm going to appear on a TV show with
oh wow.
William Shatner from Star Trek and this guy named Doug Llewellyn who created a couple TV shows. So,
Mm-hmm, wow,
and then
that's
I just filmed something in New York for DailyMail.com, the UK
yeah.
online newspaper. So
So, okay, so when are we expecting your book to come out?
I don't know. I'm still working on it. I'm probably going to put the audio program out first
Okay.
because I think it'd be more productive. And in that audio program, it'll take people through the 4 steps and actually give them hypnosis recordings to use that'll allow them to access those states of mind they need to make the changes they need to make.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And do you I mean, like you just mentioned, you are doing a couple of TV shows. Do you have a regular show as well, or do you do stage hypnosis, or something like that?
I don't do stage hypnosis. I've done some funny things with hypnosis on some of the media appearances, and I usually do that just to show really how powerful it is. It's also the most, for TV or for radio, it makes for a much greater drama.
Yeah.
But I typically do not practice stage hypnosis.
I mean, this reminds me of my first spoon bending experience. Thanks to you, Scott. You taught me that, and we had the real fun with one of our colleagues. Don't want to take the names here, but one of the colleagues who was really struggling for a couple of hours, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, and spoon bending is a great metaphor to show people how really powerful their mind really is.
Yeah.
And if they can bend a spoon, they can probably do anything.
That's correct. I just did that in a school. I'm mentoring a girls' school, so the girls were, oh sir, the project is very tough. The timeline is very short. We won't be able to do it. We won't be able to present it. So I said, okay, do you have a spoon? So one of the girls had a spoon. So I said, okay, let's do the bending. And everybody was filming, and like, oh my god, what will she be able to do it? So she actually, when she started twisting, she didn't believe in her. She started twisting and she opened her eyes and she said, see, I'm twisting it. I said, listen, complete it. You were not supposed to just show that you can twist it. But that was amazing, fun. I remember you were telling me the other day, you made one girl lose one finger, right?
I did this actually for Daily Mail. Is I did a simple thing, so I hypnotized her. I had her hold out her 10 fingers like this on her hands.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, you're going to count your fingers and you're only going to find 9 of them. You're going to be missing a finger. You don't know where it is, but you only can find 9. And every time she counted her fingers, you could see her trying to, couldn't find her 10th finger. It didn't matter if she went this way or the other way. Any way she counted, there was only 9 fingers.
And
And it did.
she was doing that during the hypnotic state, or even when she came out of
No,
that?
well, it happens in the hypnotic state, and I have her open her eyes and be in a fully awake hypnotic state, and so she's functioning,
Mm-hmm.
but there's only 9 fingers. Or you can do things like people forget their name, or they can't remember their phone number, or you'll bring them up and do something and have them go back to their chair, and they can't find the chair, and it's sitting right in front of them, and they can't find the chair they're sitting in.
I mean, I don't know how much time we have now, Scott. It's already 40 minutes are gone, but how much time do you have? I would definitely love my audience to have a feel of that one. Probably you can let me lose my finger. If
I can do that, but I can't do it with you today. We can do it another time.
Okay, cool. That will be nice. So that will be another video for my audience. So they'll
I would do that. It'd be
uh,
fun.
yeah, that will be fun because they need to know. I mean, I know these things are there to have a lesson for everybody, but sometimes people don't believe, oh, this can happen. So, of course,
Well, here's something for your audience to think about too. We use the hypnotic state all the time. Give you an example. You ever get a paper cut on your finger
hmm
and it really hurts,
yeah,
okay? And then you get busy during your day and you forget about it and it stops hurting.
that's correct.
But then at the end of the day, you look at the cut again and it starts to hurt again. What caused that? It was just the focus of your attention, of your mind, that caused it to hurt,
That's right.
or it caused it not to hurt. It's just what you focused on. Or how about of a child, your kid falls down and they skin their knee, and then you kiss it, and then it instantly feels better. The
That's
pain goes away.
that's correct.
That's a hypnotic state. It's
This
very powerful.
this I'll end it up with this small story of mine. When I was about 6 years old, I was a very naughty child, very naughty, and all my uncles, aunts, everybody who knew me, every single day I had a new scratch or a new bump or anything all over my body was like so. We were there in one of the gardens in Lahore, Pakistan, and I was teasing my cousins. This was like a family get together. So I was teasing my female cousins, especially, and I was running around with their stuff. Being 5, 6 year old, you can take advantage when they are elders with you. So there was this fountain in the middle, small fountains, not big one, but small. So I went inside one of those. I slipped, my head hit the fountain edge, and it started bleeding. Now, I had nail polish, red color nail polish in my hand from my cousin, for which I had taken away from her, and I was running with it. So, with that blood coming in, I was like, oh, it's spinning, I have blood. So, I went to my dad, and he said, what happened? I said, I don't know, it's red. He saw nail polish in my hand. He said, stop bluffing me. You put nail polish in your hand, you're trying to tell me you have blood? Go. Oh, okay. I said, okay, there's nothing. So, I just left, and I started playing again. Then suddenly my cousin saw that all my shirt was getting red. So she realized this cannot be nail polish. So we went back to my father and we said, he's bleeding. And my father said, oh, my son, you are bleeding. And I was like, I'm bleeding? I started crying like crazy. That 5 minutes before I was enjoying. And the minute he said, oh, you are
Right.
bleeding, I was, wow, wow.
Right. Exactly.
And then an ice cream made me quiet again without stitches. Uh, anyways,
It's a good
Scott,
story.
yeah, Scott, anything you would like to add here? And thank you very much, first of all, for your time. It's been always it's a pleasure, and I'll keep on bothering you whenever I have questions and thoughts about helping people because at
You
the
can
end of the
always, you're not bothering me, and I love talking to you. It's fun for
yeah,
me. So
thank you, thank
I would just tell people all things are possible if you believe in the limits.
sorry. I we lost you again, Scott. Can you repeat what you said the last part?
I was just say is all things are possible.
hmm
The only things that are not possible are the things you believe to be possible. So don't limit yourself. and set your limits high. And then when you get to there, set them even higher. When you get them out in the view.
Absolutely,
You're
absolutely.
losing me.
Yeah, I lost you in the last part, but I understood. I'm going to repeat it. What you're saying is that everything is possible till you limit yourself. The only
Exactly.
impossible thing is, in fact, even the word impossible says, I am possible.
You are correct.
You know?
Absolutely.
So I would definitely like to have your thoughts on the new, the selfie video I recorded this morning,
Okay, I'll take a look at it.
and we'll take it up from there. Thank you very much,
All right.
Scott. It was a pleasure talking to you, and catch you very soon again.
All right. Take care, my friend.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.